Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video, we are going to know about a landmark legal and policy controversy that has significant implications for international free speech and the global tech ecosystem, Elon Musk's lawsuit against the Indian government. This case, which was filed by Musk's company X on 5 March 2025 and made public on 20 March 2025, challenges the Indian government's recent measures that have expanded its censorship powers over online content. These measures, implemented under various provisions of the Information Technology Act, have been defended as necessary for national security and public order, but they have also raised serious concerns about free speech and the protection of digital rights. In today's session, we'll explore the origins and background of this lawsuit, delve into its legal and technical aspects, and examine its broader implications for international business relations, technology regulation, and global perceptions of free speech. To start, let's look at the background and context that lead to this lawsuit. The social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, was acquired by Elon Musk in 2022. Since the acquisition, Musk has taken a very vocal stance on free speech issues, advocating for minimal government interference in digital communication. In India, a country with over 900 million internet users and a rapidly growing digital economy, X has carved out a significant user base, estimated at around 25 million active users in 2025. Over the past few years, the Indian government, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has increasingly sought to regulate online content. Using legal instruments such as the Information Technology Act of 2000 and its subsequent amendments, the government has implemented measures to monitor, filter, and block content that it deems a threat to national security or public order. A key part of this regulatory framework has been the introduction of a content blocking website by the Ministry of Home Affairs, which allows various government departments to issue takedown orders without necessarily undergoing rigorous judicial review. According to X, these measures have been applied arbitrarily and bypass traditional legal safeguards, thus infringing upon the platform's users' right to free speech. Elon Musk's lawsuit, filed in the Karnataka High Court, represents a direct challenge to these regulatory practices. The lawsuit claims that the government's actions not only violate the constitutional right to free speech but also conflict with international standards of digital rights. The case has been widely reported in major news outlets like Reuters, The Guardian, and CNN Business, and it has sparked significant debate on social media, where hashtags like #XVSIndia and #FreeSpeechBattle are trending. The issue is not only about content regulation, it's also about how such policies might affect international business. Musk's X is heavily invested in expanding its market share and also plays a critical role in Musk's broader business strategy, which includes the expansion of Tesla and Starlink in India. Thus, the lawsuit has implications for trade, technology, and even diplomatic relations between the United States and India. Now, let's break down some key definitions and concepts that are central to this issue. An executive order or government directive, in this context, is a legally binding instruction issued by a government agency, in this case, enabling various departments to block content online. The term content blocking refers to the process by which access to certain online material is restricted by government order, typically justified on grounds of national security or public order. The specific legal framework under which this is executed in India includes provisions of the IT Act, particularly Section 69, which permits the government to block public access to information when deemed necessary. However, critics argue that these provisions have been overextended and are being used in ways that infringe on free speech rights. Additionally, we must understand that X's lawsuit targets alleged violations of Section 79(3)(b) of the IT Act, among other legal arguments, suggesting that the current system bypasses required judicial oversight, thereby undermining constitutional safeguards. From a technical perspective, the process by which the Indian government is enforcing these content blocking measures involves the use of a centralized website that enables multiple government departments to issue takedown notices directly. Traditionally, such actions should be subject to stringent oversight, requiring approval from top officials and judicial review to ensure that the blocking orders are justified and do not result in arbitrary censorship. However, according to X, the current system has allowed for a much more unilateral approach, leading to instances where content is removed without proper accountability. This alleged bypassing of legal safeguards is one of the core issues Musk's lawsuit addresses, arguing that the actions of the government are not only unconstitutional but also harmful to the open exchange of ideas on the internet. The origins of this lawsuit are rooted in broader political and ideological battles that have been shaping digital policy for years. During his previous term, President Trump was known for his hardline stance on immigration and for advocating less government interference in business. His views on free speech and the role of government in regulating online content have influenced his approach to tech companies globally. With his return to office in this hypothetical 2025 scenario, Trump's administration has taken even more aggressive steps to enforce strict content regulation in various countries, including India. This move is in line with the broader global trend of governments seeking to tighten control over digital communications, a trend that has met with fierce opposition from technology companies and digital rights advocates worldwide. Now, let's consider the broader implications of this legal challenge. Economically, the lawsuit could have far-reaching effects on international business relations and the tech industry. If the Indian government is forced to rein in its censorship practices, it might pave the way for greater freedom for tech companies operating in India, thereby encouraging further investment and innovation. On the other hand, if the government's measures are upheld, it could set a precedent that might affect the operational freedoms of other global tech firms, potentially leading to stricter content regulation across various markets. This, in turn, could influence the overall competitiveness of digital platforms and impact the global flow of information, with serious ramifications for democracy and free speech. Socially and politically, the case is equally significant. In India, where the internet is a vital tool for political mobilization and social discourse, any restriction on free speech can have profound implications. The lawsuit has already sparked a vibrant debate among policymakers, legal experts, and the general public. Supporters of the lawsuit argue that protecting free speech is essential for maintaining a healthy democracy, while opponents claim that certain restrictions are necessary to safeguard national security and public order. The controversy has been further fueled by the fact that many Indian lawmakers, as well as international observers, view this case as part of a broader struggle over the control of digital space, a struggle that pits the ideals of open communication against the imperatives of security and state control. Furthermore, the human impact of these policies should not be overlooked. For many users, platforms like X are not just tools for social interaction but also vital channels for political expression, activism, and even education. When governments overreach in their censorship powers, they risk stifling this expression, which can lead to a less informed and less engaged citizenry. This potential suppression of dissent and diversity of opinion is a cause of concern not only in India but around the world, as it touches upon the fundamental rights of individuals in a digital age. Legally, the outcome of this lawsuit could set important precedents for future cases involving digital rights and government regulation of online content. Should the courts find in favor of X, it would represent a victory for free speech advocates and could compel governments to revise their approaches to content regulation, ensuring that there are adequate checks and balances in place. Conversely, if the government's measures are upheld, it might embolden other states to implement similarly broad censorship policies, potentially leading to a more fragmented and controlled digital environment. For competitive exam aspirants, this case is rich with interdisciplinary significance. It provides an opportunity to explore key concepts such as constitutional law, digital rights, the balance between national security and freedom of expression, and the evolving nature of international business in the tech sector. Understanding the legal arguments, such as those related to Section 69 of the IT Act and the principles of judicial oversight, is crucial. Additionally, the economic implications, such as the potential impact on innovation, foreign investment, and international trade, are vital areas of study for those preparing for examinations in fields like public policy, law, and international relations. It is also important to consider the broader geopolitical context in which this lawsuit is situated. The ongoing tensions between global tech firms and national governments reflect a worldwide debate over the role of digital platforms in modern society. Countries around the globe are grappling with how to regulate online content in a manner that balances the need for security with the fundamental rights of free speech. In this regard, the case of X versus the Indian government is not an isolated incident, rather, it is part of a larger conversation about digital governance, the future of internet freedom, and the power dynamics between multinational corporations and sovereign states. Moreover, the case highlights the complexity of enforcing digital regulations in a globalized world. While the Indian government has argued that its measures are necessary to protect national security and public order, critics point out that such regulations often lack transparency and accountability. The use of a centralized content blocking website, which allows various government departments to issue takedown orders without sufficient judicial oversight, is a prime example of how regulatory frameworks can be stretched beyond their intended scope. This not only undermines the trust of users but also sets a dangerous precedent for digital censorship. On the technical front, the processes involved in identifying and deporting undocumented immigrants, as well as the enforcement of content blocking orders, rely heavily on advanced data analytics and biometric verification systems. The precision with which these systems operate is critical, yet it also raises significant questions about data privacy and the potential for misuse. In an era where data breaches and cyber attacks are becoming increasingly common, ensuring the security of personal information, especially when it is linked to sensitive issues such as political expression and free speech, is of paramount importance. In conclusion, Elon Musk's decision to sue the Indian government over its content blocking policies represents a pivotal moment in the ongoing global debate over digital rights, government regulation, and the balance between security and free expression. The lawsuit challenges the very foundation of current online censorship practices and could potentially reshape the regulatory landscape, not only in India but globally. It underscores the complex interplay between international business interests, national security imperatives, and individual rights in the digital age. For those preparing for competitive exams, this case provides a valuable opportunity to explore a range of interdisciplinary issues, from constitutional law and public policy to international relations and technology ethics. As you continue your studies, I encourage you to delve deeper into these topics, critically analyze the implications of such policy decisions, and understand how they reflect broader societal changes in our interconnected world. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given hot and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.